When I was a little kid, my favorite snack was cinnamon toast. I would literally get bread, put some butter on it, and then I'd sprinkle some cinnamon on it, and I would eat it as a snack. I'd eat it for breakfast. It was so great. And so my mom always made it at home. She always made it the best way. And when I would go to my grandma's house though, there would be times where I would ask her if I could have some cinnamon toast, if she could make me some. And when it came back, I'd look at it, and the way in which she was making the cinnamon toast was not the same way that I actually wanted it. But I couldn't understand why it was that I would tell my mom, hey, I want cinnamon toast, and she would make it the way that I wanted it. But my grandma, if I gave her the same request, it was completely different. And it wasn't until like a couple years later that I realized the way my mom was making cinnamon toast, the mixture of cinnamon was actually cinnamon and sugar. Usually more sugar than cinnamon, but it made everything dark and, so it looked like cinnamon toast to me. But when I told my grandma my request, she was literally just getting cinnamon, plain as it was, and putting it on the toast. And because the mixture wasn't the same, I was getting a different outcome. So what does this have to do with dating? What I'm realizing as I get older is that the ways in which you yourself are viewing how love should go, and the way in which your partner should treat you, and when you're asking them certain things or telling them certain things, you're telling them the need that you have, it may be a thing whereby that either gets misinterpreted or you're not giving them the full details they would need to be able to relate to you in the way that you want them to, simply because your lens of what you say and what you mean is going to be different from how they're interpreting it. So just like with my grandma, she made my cinnamon toast quote unquote wrong to me because I left out the detail that I was not even aware of, that the cinnamon needed to have sugar mixed in with it so I could have my version of cinnamon toast. All right. So recognize that there has to be some grace given to your partner as well as to yourself when you're talking to them in relationships, because you might say something to them, like you might have a request for them to do something for you better in the relationship, and when they try to do it, it's not to your liking and it still feels like they're not trying, when really it could just be that they're interpreting what you said based on the knowledge you gave them and based on their viewpoint of life. And so there's always going to be this thing where there might have to be adjustments made or conversations made so that way both of you can understand what it is that you're actually requesting of the other person, okay? So just remember that we're all human, we're all flawed, we all make mistakes, but ultimately also we don't always come across to other people as well as we would like to in terms of the things we're requesting, okay? So just recognize that and apply a little grace, and hopefully that'll help you out the next time you're making a request in your relationship and vice versa.